Alvin is the head of household, and for the first time in Big Brother Cheesecake history, we have a double eviction on our hands, and he will nominate 4 people for eviction. Now, on Big Brother Cheesecake 3, Under the Sea. Hello, I'm Andrew Shevsik Moonves. Welcome to Big Brother Cheesecake 3 Under the Sea. It's day 53 inside the Big Brother Cheesecake house, and this week Alvin is the head of household. Who will he nominate? He will nominate 4 people in this week's double eviction, but who will they be and who will get picked to play in the Topaz Power Veto competition? We'll find out shortly. But first, I'm actually going to start today with the rules for the Topaz Power Veto competition. It's going to take place over the next 2 days, possibly 3, because it is an individual competition. So all 7 house kits will be playing individually. So let's get right to it. This week's Topaz Power Veto competition is Debbie's favorite competition, and yeah, it's my favorite Power Veto competition. It is Big Brother Deal or No Deal. And here's how it works. Deal or No Deal is a game show that premiered in December 2005 with Howie Mandel, and it's one of my favorite game shows in concept. I think the production of the actual show itself wasn't very good. Howie really, well, I don't think it was Howie, but production really dragged the show on, like having to go through like 3 or 4 commercials just to get through like 2 cases. But the concept of the game I love. 26 cases. You pick a case. You then have to open up, and they each have a dollar amount between 1 penny and $1 million. Then you pick 6 cases. Those 6 cases are obviously not your case, so you want them to be low numbers. You will then be offered a deal from the banker, for example, $10,000. If you say deal at any point, that's the amount of money you win for the game, for the round. If you say no deal, you open up 5 cases, then 4, then 3, then 2, and then 1 at a time. And if you say no deal all the way to the very end, then you win what's in your case. Round 1, all 7 house guests will participate. And before I get to that, I know some people are thinking, this is another luck-based challenge. There is luck in Deal or No Deal, but there's definitely strategy and especially timing, because you're not, unlike in the game show where you're just trying to win money for yourself, you're trying to get more money than the others. And you're trying to play against them and what their weaknesses are. Because what's interesting is, in Season 1, everybody was really aggressive. A lot of people were going to the very end. I think Jeffrey went to the very end. Oh, and Jeffrey won this competition in Season 1. It was one of his 6 veto wins that season. And Rob won this competition in Season 2. So in Season 1, everybody was aggressive, going all the way to the end. No deal, no deal, no deal. And in Season 2, everybody was playing really conservative and taking deals early on. And nobody seemed to catch on to that after the first round. So I'm curious what happens this season. So, 7 of you will participate in round 1 individually. Whenever you're ready, you let me know, and if I'm available, unfortunately I'm going to be on and off throughout the 2 days, so hopefully we have a time that syncs up. When I'm available, we'll start your game, and after your round is done, it's up to you if you want to discuss with others how you did or not. I personally think it's terrible strategy to go around telling even your allies this is how much I got, but whatever, that's up to you. The top 3 scores after round 1 will advance to round 2. And then the top score in round 2 will win the Topaz Power Veto. So bear in mind, in round 1, you don't necessarily want to have the highest score, you just want to make the top 3. Now in Season 1, I made the scores non-cumulative, which means after round 1 I wiped out the scores and we then started again in round 2, which was kind of like, a beauty pageant. Or in figure skating, where you drop the high and low. Oh, and the Russians always win. And then in Season 2, I made it cumulative, where your score would carry over. There's pros and cons to both. Non-cumulative, where your scores erase, is a little bit more it's a little bit more fair, and no. Hold on. cumulative, where your scores do carry over, there is more strategy, but there's also more luck involved. Because you can get one big round, like a 500,000, 750,000, or a million, and you win. Whereas in non-cumulative, there's less luck, but also less strategy. So I'm going to flip a coin this season. Heads is cumulative, tails is non-cumulative. Heads. So that means your scores are cumulative. So the top 3 scores in round 1 will advance to round 2, and you will know what the scores are. It's kind of like Jeopardy, when there's like the Tournament of Champions or the teen tournament or the college tournament, and they have their scores going into the next day. So when they do their final bid, they're bidding based on not just their score that day, but on the previous day. Anyways, Lynn is totally lost right now, and so is Rhonda. Anyway, yes. So whoever has the highest score at the end of round 2 will win the Topaz Power Veto, and they must use the Topaz Power Veto to remove one of the 4 nominees from the chopping block. Now it's time to get to the nomination ceremony. Alvin is the head of household, and it is his responsibility to nominate not 2, not 3, but 4 of his fellow house guests for eviction. Unlike in regular weeks, in this double eviction week, because the Topaz Power Veto must be used, and because there's not a replacement nominee, because there are 3 nominees, if I read your name as safe, you are safe for the week, 100%. And that means you guarantee yourself a spot in the final 7. The other 4 nominees will fight in the Topaz Power Veto. 1 nominee will come off the chopping block, and then 2 of the final 3 nominees will be evicted. Okay, here we go. Jonathan, you are safe. Chantel, you are safe. Jojo, you are safe. This leaves Krista, Lynn, Caitlin, Nicole, Julian. 1 of you is safe. 4 of you are nominated. Caitlin, you are safe, which means Alvin has nominated Krista, Julian, Nicole, and Lynn for double eviction. Okay, he did not make these brief, so bear with me. Krista, I don't think this will be a surprise that you're on the block. You truly are the Terminator in this group, who can take a beating but rises no matter what. Kudos to you for surviving 3 times. If you survive 1 more eviction, you truly deserve to win the whole thing, because that means your social game with others is something not to be taken lightly. Julie, you're on the block because as much as I want to believe you, the rumor about you and Kirsten knowing each other could be partially true. Even more, you could be working with each other. Furthermore, you did say that you could have stayed a little longer on that endurance cup and could have battled me until the end, which makes you a threat not only to me but to the other remaining house guests. Nicole, you're on the block mainly because guilty by association. It's evident that you and Julian are close in the game and would potentially take each other to the end. Having duos in this stage of the game is very dangerous. Both of you have won HOHs as well prior. Lynn, you're the last bus person standing and have lost with all your fellow colleagues. You are forced to be reckoned with, however you are not my target this week, and unfortunately because I promised all the other house guests safety for the week, for mutual safety on their HOH this week, and the 2 other house guests who competed on the previous HOH by default, your name is on the list. Like I said, this is not personal, but this is the nature of the game. Good luck on the PoE and prove yourself that you belong on the final 7. So, Alvin has nominated Krista, Julian, Lynn, Nicole for double eviction. Now it's time to pick players for the Topaz Power Veto competition. Only 7 house guests will participate in the Topaz Power Veto competition. The head of household, Alvin, the 4 nominees, Krista, Lynn, Julian, and Nicole, and 2 players selected in a random draw. If I draw the name of the head of household or one of the 4 nominees, they will get house guest choice. Please, God, don't let me pick Krista, because I swear to God, if she doesn't pick by sunset, I'm going to drive my car to New York, or 30 minutes north of New York, take the phone out of her hand and just pick somebody for her. Okay, this is the Topaz Power Veto Lottery. Okay, here we go. This is also the second last Veto lottery of the season. I can't believe it's already day 53. Rhonda messaged me that she's suffering cheesecake withdrawals. I get that every season at the end. Oh, it's the worst. Okay. Here we go. First up is Chantel. And finally, Lynn. Which means, Lynn, you get house guest choice and you get to choose somebody to play with you in the Topaz Power Veto competition. And there's not a lot of choices. There would be, I believe there would only be 3 people. Caitlin, Jojo. Is that it? No, I'm missing somebody. Caitlin, Jojo, or Jonathan. So, Lynn, you have to choose, please, as soon as possible between Caitlin, Jojo, and Jonathan to play in the Topaz Power Veto competition. Okay, with that said, who will win the Topaz Power Veto? Find out tomorrow and Sunday as we have the results of the Big Brother Deal or No Deal Power Veto competition. Monday is the Topaz Power Veto ceremony. Will the winner of the Topaz Power Veto? Well, they must. Who will they choose to save? Krista, Lynn, Julian, or Nicole? Tuesday, the final 3 nominees plead their case and we learn the rules of the next head of household competition, which is one of my favorite competitions. Every competition is my favorite. And Wednesday is the next live eviction where 2, not 1, 2 house guests will be evicted and be the first 2 members of the jury. I'm Andrew Chef Moonves. Take care and we leave you as we strap on the house guests. Good night.